Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Distant Intimacy. I'm one of your hosts, Curtis Shoemaker, along with
Craig Kikowski. I'm your other host.
And our special, wonderful guest, Carla Harting. Yay! Carla,
Howdy,
how
partners.
are you? How are you?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing just fine. It's great to see you guys.
You
It's
too.
great to see you.
Inviting me on here.
Oh.
I'm only doing this so that you'll continue this and I can see more of our folk
people.
people.
Now, Carla, since we're starting out at William & Mary before we delve deep into lives post-William & Mary, now, what year did you graduate?
I graduated in 1990. I had to think about that for a second. 1990. Yeah.
I think that's right.
Because we were sort of,
Okay.
I know Craig knows, you were a few years after, right, Craig?
I was 91 and Curtis was 89, so you're right.
89.
Right in the middle, yeah.
But I remember now, I know you got your start in high school doing Harvey, right?
How did you know that?
I have cope here, huh?
Let's see the clip.
Let's see the clip. Roll the clip. Yeah.
I was brilliant back then. Harvey, yes, I played like Elma Marie. You guys are going to ask me a lot of dates and names, and I'm not going to know anything.
Well, what is your first big moment that you remember at William & Mary Theater that you remember doing? Because I mean, I know my favorite of yours, but that's
I think the first like main stage show I did was Our Town, and we all, I think it's probably the dream of every female actor, maybe male actor, to play Emily in that scene where they're sipping the sody pops. And I wanted to do that so badly. And I remember Jerry Bledsoe saying after my audition, "Where did you learn how to talk like that?" And I still don't know if that was a compliment. I don't think so. So I was townsperson like number 24, and I had my back to the audience with an umbrella. And my whole freshman dorm came out to see me and cheer me on. Anyway, I loved that show. I was such a big fan of William & Mary Theater before I got in. I don't know if you may not have seen it, Craig, but I remember Hair.
No, but I'd heard about that production.
It was a great production.
Yeah.
Great production.
Oh my God, I was such a fan. I saw it like tons of times. And but other favorite performances, I liked House of Blue Leaves.
You to this day, you were just, I mean, because that character has so many times where it's just her on stage walking or looking. And I mean, this was college, and you were full of, it was just, the story was being told. I would never forget you just like walking with that dazed look, and the story was being told. I still remember that to this day.
Bananas, right? You were Bananas.
Yes.
I was Banana. Hey,
No.
typecasting. Thank you so much. That's so nice of you to say. I always worshipped you guys and the improv stuff. I, sat at the feet of all of you guys, and Bill Tipper and Andy Pang.
Okay, Miss Pang, yes.
Yeah. And James Wilkins.
James, yes.
All you guys just were just priceless. I still think improv is the most difficult thing to do, period. But House of Blue Leaves was a favorite. I loved all those, I don't know, the off characters, the mentally ill characters.
You were the wife of Beth in Canterbury Tales, the musical.
Oh, was that a G. Leslie Muchmore production?
Who
Or was that
directed
Lee
Canterbury
Conakry?
Tales?
The Canterbury Tale. I don't know.
Was it Catron or was it?
That was not my time. That was right after. That was
I
like
can't
the
even
year after I
remember
left.
who did it. Was it Palmer? I don't remember.
I don't
But I do remember we had to toss you in the air several times, like for your big production number. You were doing barrel rolls like over our backs, and we would throw you in the air, and we rehearsed that over and over.
I know. I mean, I probably had a hat like this on. I had
Yep.
a big hat like this, and I was like, "Yeah, come on and marry me, honey."
Yep.
Yes, that was a blast. Yeah, and exhausting. I was I was out of my league there, but it sure was fun.
Now,
Uh,
when you left William Mary, did you go right to? I know you got your MFA in San Diego. Did you go right to San Diego or New York or DC, or what was the route to San Diego?
I was trying. I thought you were going to ask me these questions, and so I was like in the bathtub earlier in sort of a compression sense chamber. No, what do you call them?
All,
Like,
sensory deprivation tanks.
thank you.
Wow.
I'm in a basement in the Bronx, not a panic room. It's the basement in the Bronx.
Well, I got in the bath with the lights out, and I was trying to remember a lot of things. Um, and one of them was like after college. I was like, what did I do? And I remember I went to it was called Players Theater of Columbus, which I think Jen Catney
Jim
had
Cadney was there too.
a part of as well, and might have been my connection to it. And it was sure awesome to have her there, and that was a fun time. And then that theater, and we were doing children's theater there, and then the theater went under. I don't know why. I don't know what happened there. And then I went back to DC. I, like you, Curtis, lived in the DC area in
Right.
Arlington, Virginia. And so I started to do stuff like at Studio Theater in DC. I took classes there and did theater. And that was, now were you part of this, Craig? The IT sort of reiteration in DC, the
Yeah,
Grins
Grins
Without
Without
Cats?
Cats.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where we went to different places. Curtis, you were in that too?
No,
Yeah.
I was
No.
not.
Oh,
I remember, was that Sherry and Bill as well, or
I
so
didn't do any with Bill, but James was in it, and
right?
Sherry and Rick Box. Yeah, it was
I
really fun.
think they were like, you should come join us, and they're like, when is it? They go, well, it's Friday or Saturday, and I go, I'm paying rent on Friday or Saturday nights as a bartender, so I'm sorry, I can't.
yeah.
We played at Terlitsky's Deli in Old Town.
The Laughing Lizard Lounge, by the way.
Laughing Lizard Lounge. Yeah.
Yes.
Where was Laughing Lizard Lounge? Was that in?
Old
It
Town,
was in the
like
back of the deli.
yeah, upstairs in the back. It was not not a nice place, really.
I remember so many of those shows that were just incredible. Just a blast. Except when I was performing in them, then they were terrifying. In fact, I only remember like getting a laugh like once, and this might have been like when there was some dorm that we performed at, like across from where the big cafeteria was on campus.
Okay.
And it was you, Curtis, and Jeff Jones. And the only laugh I ever got, and it's horrible to repeat because it was unkind, because it was some sort of scene where we were like in alternate universes, and I said something like, you and Jeff were over here doing something, and I was like, yeah, I think we're being watched by a hippie and a fat guy, and I got a big laugh. Cruelty.
Yeah.
But it worked. It played, and it was, hey, comedy is truth, and that was true. I mean,
When all else fails, go meta.
go, go meta.
Go Brechtian.
oh no, let's not do no Brecht, no Brecht. That's three penny, no Brecht. So you made it at some point to San Diego for your MFA.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that might have been partially inspired by Andy because he was applying for different grad programs and he got into UCSD, UC San Diego, and then I applied, and I had never even been to California, so I thought this could be exciting, and I liked the feel of the program, and yeah, so I took that leap many years ago.
Now was Tracy Lay and Jefferson Mays both in your class or at the same time?
No, neither one of them.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I didn't overlap with them. I don't know what years they might have been, but yeah, I of course know, I knew Tracy from undergrad.
Right.
I met Jeff Mays different times throughout my career, but I didn't overlap at UCSD.
Okay. Because
Yeah.
I didn't know if you'd ever worked with him or you went to school with him, at UCSD.
Yeah, no, I've just admired him from afar. I mean, he's a force of nature.
He was, yes. When I mentioned you to him, when I
Oh,
got a chance to work with him, and he was like, "Oh, I remember Carla." He did know exactly who you were. He seemed impressed by you as well in that
oh,
moment. He asked how I knew you, and and Tracy and whatnot. Yeah,
that's cool. That's really neat. Yeah, I feel like we've done readings together. You know how it is
right.
in New York, maybe LA too. You just do so many readings and plays and new scripts, and you get to know a lot of people that way.
Now, your stage career, I went through one of your programs at the Old Globe recently, and your list of stage credits is amazing. You were in a lot of early productions of Sarah Rule, like
Mhm.
Dead Man's Cell Phone, Air You Dice, or Eurydice. Sorry, I missed it. So, what was it like working with a playwright when she's developing these plays, such as her?
It was cool. I met Sarah pretty early in her career when Eurydice was still, again, these readings. That play was going through like a number of readings all over New York, and I got to read the role of Eurydice different times, and then other characters. And I remember reading her work, and I just thought it was like full of so much love and a lot of hope and a lot of whimsy. And it was a little unlike me because I don't know if you guys know, I can be a little shy actually. And so
I call it volcanic subtlety because
I can be a little shy.
Now I know why you requested the hat.
yeah. Well,
You can hide behind it.
it does match your description in the New York Times. I mean, it was the sultry Carla Harting. I have that on record as well. The sultry Carla Harting, according to the New York Times, the paper of record. So,
Ah, those old hacks. Um, no, if you trust the good ones, you got to trust the bad ones too. And anyway, but that's very nice. I strive to be sultry, you know.
oh, sorry.
Don't we all?
Yeah, no, I don't try.
But no, you don't strive, don't strive. But no, but with Sarah Rule, I actually wrote to her. I reached out to her after one of these readings and said, "Your work is the kind of thing I really want to do. I want to be a part of what you do because I sometimes feel like um, content can be really dark or it drags us down, and just being a part of Sarah Rule's world made me feel like this is what I want to do with my career. I want to inspire people. I want to be, anyway, I'm sounding very pretentious right now.
Huh?
Uh, I just really loved her work, and we developed a friendship. And so, yeah, I got to do stuff with a company called Club Thumb, which is actually UCSD
Okay.
folks who started a theater company in New York and did a lot of new work. And I did a play of Sarah's called Late, a Cowboy Song there that I really loved. And then, yeah, went on to do a production of Eurydice that started at Yale Rep and then went to second stage, and also did Dead Man's Cell Phone at, where did do that? At
Playwrights, yes.
Playwrights Horizons. Yeah. So yeah, that's very near and dear to my heart. I'm really proud that I got to do that.
So I'm wondering, so I have to ask this question. Is there a script out there that I will order from Samuel French? And I'll get a script. And when you go through the script, one of the first things you always look at is like opening night cast or like first performed at. Because of all the new work you've done around the country,
Mhm.
are you is your name there? Do you
Uh,
know?
it might be. Yeah. I feel like a student of mine said that about Eurydice in one of Sarah's collections.
Ah, see,
And I played Little Stone,
that's
which was,
awesome though. Just like, I mean, because you always wonder who played this role first, because you've had the chance to do something I haven't done since right out of college at the Source Theater in DC, is originate a role, which is
mm,
totally different.
mm.
And that's spectacular.
Yeah, and honestly, that role, I actually know for a fact that I didn't originate it because a good friend of mine, Polly Noonan, who's very close with Sarah Rule, Polly, I love you, Polly. Um, she played the role of Little Stone, and she also played Eurydice. So we're all sort of descendants of other actors often, but it is cool to do new work.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
also like super scary and it's uncharted territory. But you worked at the Source, Curtis?
I did one of their theater festivals right out of college. Yes,
Yeah.
a one-act festival when I was there, and then I got so involved in working and making money at night. That DC theater scene on the evenings, I never got back into it because just
Mhm.
just the whole side job became the job for a long time. You know, and
It's
then
yeah.
I married well, so I'm good now. So it's all set.
Good for you.
She can't hear. I don't think she can. Oh,
Oh.
anyway. Oh.
You
So
you
you
both married well. Craig is married as well, yes, and you married.
I married a Carla.
married a
Yeah.
student.
Oh, and
Well,
is
that's a whole other thing, but we won't go
Okay,
there.
okay.
but a
It's all
Carla.
good. It's all
It's all
good.
good. It's all good. It's all
Yeah.
good. It's all good. So Carla, you've done so much stage work. UCSD, Seattle Rep, Arena Stage. I think the last time I saw you was actually on the subway platform at 42nd Street.
Oh my gosh.
Briefly, like in 10 years ago, maybe you were heading to DC or had just
Hmm.
gotten back because I think it was before that. Unfortunately, sorry, it made the papers. Your bike accident. Are you okay? Is that all? I mean, I mean,
I show my scar. No,
Oh,
no.
oh. ratings, star.
Yes, I know my claim to fame sidelined by being hit by a car while riding bicycle. You know what? I'm so lucky and I'm so grateful that I survived that. And yeah, I was riding my bike to a matinee performance of a show at Arena Stage when they were renovating the theater. Anyway, long story, but the theater was in Crystal City across the.
Oh, okay, so it wasn't down at the waterfront Krieger and regular. It was in a
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so I had sort of taken to riding my bike across that bridge. I guess that's the 14th Street Bridge. I'm trying to.
Yeah, I think
Mm,
so.
maybe. Anyway, yeah, I was hit by a car on a Sunday at noon, and I feel like I should um, rhyme with that somehow if I was clever. And it made me have to change my tune. I broke my leg.
And you didn't have to beg.
Yeah, and now you ain't gonna call me Peg.
Oh
Uh,
no.
no, I have my leg. That was really lame.
You need to
Um,
get back in improv.
Exactly. He wouldn't. As your instructor, he would never have allowed that. He would never have allowed that.
Wow.
you gotta come back in my world. Help
You're
me.
just busting out rhyming couplets like nobody's business.
um, no, but and I think I shared this with you, Craig, when we got to see each other recently um, for Christian service, which was so beautiful and sad. But uh, my accident happened in 2009, and 3 years to the day of my accident, my daughter was born. So it felt like my world was sort of shattered in this abrupt, surprising, and often painful way. But it then took me on this other path that brought me, you know, my daughter, which I had her when I was 44. So, again, I'm so lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
That's
lucky.
amazing.
That's
We're
great.
so happy for you.
Yeah, thank you. So, you know,
Uh,
um,
Question. This is
yeah.
going to be. I want. Is the reason that you're all over the stage and we hardly ever see you on TV and film? Is that because of the stupidity of casting directors and agents, or just where your career took you in the various places and things?
Yeah, it's funny because early on, I don't know if it was a legacy from William and Mary, but I was a little bit of a theater snob. I don't know if you guys came out that way. I think we had like
Definitely.
such a strong program,
Right.
and so initially I felt like, oh, theater, I want to be a theater actor. And now I'd kill for a TV show.
Right.
Are you kidding me?
We're all whores.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Um, I'd love to explore it more down the road here. Although now my life is mostly teaching.
Professor, that's right, Professor Harding. Is it professor? Is it associate professor? Professor Harding, you are an acting professor?
Hey, I teach adjunct, man. I'm adjunct.
Adjunct.
Don't
Okay.
don't lay that professor on me. No, it's yeah. I teach at UCSD where I went to school, and some of the same professors are there, which is cool. And I teach at some of the other schools, Cal State San Marcos. But it's yeah, it's interesting. It's you were talking about how you coach as
Right,
well.
right.
How do you enjoy it? Is it something that
I do. I really, I think what I enjoy most about it is seeing it and then asking the questions, because I love to see someone search for the answer, you know,
mm,
who were you, what were you, what were you thinking? What do you, what did you believe? Why did you say that? And you occasionally get somebody goes, what it says here. No, 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 no. I know it says that in the script, but why did you say that? And making them think through and realize the process behind the process and the work behind the work and seeing if the light goes on and they're like, oh, so I do enjoy it. And you love seeing it when it clicks in them and you go, and they feel they've achieved something when it clicks in them.
mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I teach young improvisers, which can range from 18 to 70, because
Mhm.
people might be discovering improv at different moments of their life. But you're teaching college students who are in a much narrower pool age-wise. Uh, is
That's
Does
true.
it bring you back to William and Mary at all, working with these younger actors? And are you able to kind of get inside their headspace because of your own experiences going through that?
It's amazing. They seem a lot of them so much more mature than I ever was.
I
It's
think kids are just more mature in general now. Yeah.
yeah, maybe we were younger back then, but I mean, it's interesting
It's a more
talking.
innocent time.
I was trying to be not innocent all the time. Come on.
That's to the lighting grid at PBK.
Yeah, yeah, fly red. It's anyway. The light is
Fly
on.
rate. Yeah.
um, I don't know. I have many students too who uh, I think we had just such a really vibrant, well-funded program at William and Mary. I think that UCSD has some great stuff. I don't want to diss that
Right,
alma mater, but the focus there is mostly on the graduate students. So the undergrads, it's a little bit of a different energy. Like we had so many productions. We had our main stage. We
right.
had studio projects. We got to direct. We got to it felt like I had so many opportunities to explore different.
When I coach, because in high school, the performing arts high schools that people, that they audition to get into in New York City. When I
Mm,
work with people on their auditions to get in, and I talk to them, and they say, they're thinking about going to college, and I say, go where you want to go where your passion leads you. But sometimes it's best to go if you're going undergraduate. Sometimes look for one that doesn't have a graduate program above you because you won't get to do as much. You may learn from great people, but you won't have that hands-on experience because there's another level above you that you won't reach unless you go to graduate school there as well.
absolutely. Yeah. So I get a lot of students too who, they're studying, bioengineering or all these things where I'm like, what is that? And they just want an acting class to have a different kind of experience. They want a class that's not 300 students in a big, lecture hall. They want to learn. They want to have fun.
Okay.
They want to do improv.
Well, this brings me back to Dr. Palmer, who we've been talking about a lot,
Mhm.
because I remember sometimes he actually told me this once when I was going to theater department faculty meetings that he was mad at us theater majors because in some of his classes we weren't doing enough. We weren't leading all these non-theater majors. And I'm
Mhm.
wondering now, even as an adjunct professor, if you have theater majors and you have the sociology major, do you have that same kind of conflict? Like, your acting students who are there for an elective or are supposed to there for the passion, seeing the difference in the students and trying to, draw them. Sorry, one second. Apparently we're running long, so we may get cut off soon.
Oh, okay. Oh, no, no worries.
It's okay.
Uh,
Good.
yeah, I mean, I think too, you can see, I hate to bring it up, but differences and just sort of natural ability.
Mhm.
I don't know what you guys experience too. I think what's fun is seeing everybody's growth and people stepping out of their comfort zone and trying things and being brave. And what's scary for people who have the proclivity and have the passion to make it their life's work, for somebody that isn't like that, it takes a lot of guts. But yeah, I think those majors, they can really inspire people. Like, my other students are always like, "Oh my God, wow! Oh, I felt that. Oh man!" So yeah, it's exciting. But especially now in this form, because I'm doing Zoom classes
Right. Which, yeah, yeah.
with my students, and so I kind of, it's interesting because I've shifted it a little bit, um, to just kind of, I don't know, make it maybe a little bit more applicable to just showing up in your life and being brave and letting your real self come out.
Right. No matter the job, no matter the day, you're always auditioning for something, even if you don't know it.
Maybe, yeah, right. And it's about human connection ultimately. So it's just like your show, distant,
It's just
intimate.
an intimacy. So, Carla, this has been
Way to loop it
fantastic.
around.
I know she. You notice how she's closing it. Let me wrap.
I got a daughter.
A daughter. I got a daughter. I got a daughter. She's
I've
she's
run
in the
out of screens to give her.
she's in the deprivation tank. Quick, I gotta go. So, Carla, it's been fantastic seeing you again. So, question I've been asking everybody.
Oh,
So, if heaven exists, what do you want Trish Wesp to say to you at the pearly gates?
oh my gosh.
Okay, and there you have it.
I didn't know this was the question. Oh my gosh. I want her to say, drape, always
Drape,
drape.
drape,
Great.
always drape. All right, guys. Carla, thank you so much. This has been fantastic. Wonderful time. Always good to see you. Folks, another episode of Distant Intimacy, and we'll see if we'll be back for more. Hope so. Talk to you soon, everybody. Bye.